I'm working from one of the hotels, so they have fixed the problem. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for persevering. My name is Dr. Yobbe Lungu. I work as Quality Assurance Director for St. John the Baptist University in Malawi. And I am going to talk to you on entrepreneurship. Specifically, we would like to present a session called Promoting Women Entrepreneurship for Sustainable Development. Next slide, please. Thank you. So let's start with the introduction. In our introduction, we are saying that women entrepreneurs make up approximately 1/3 of all entrepreneurs globally. Next. In addition to that, it is an established fact that almost all developing countries have youth unemployment rates that exceed the global rates at more than 30%. And so we are trying to establish a problem here. And so therefore, it is important that because not everybody has a job, because not everybody has employment, people can think of entrepreneurship as an alternative to help them make money from another source, because the problem of unemployment is very high at 30% globally, more than 30%. Thank you. Next. So this situation has therefore put governments worldwide under pressure to both cut the fiscal expenditures as well as reduce unemployment, especially following the current global financial crisis. So because of that, then the entrepreneurship comes in as an answer to the problem, to help government to cushion those that don't have a job, so they can have entrepreneurship to make money for their families. Next. Next slide. Yes, so as developing countries continue to struggle with limited fiscal capacity to create jobs and absorb new entrants into the labor market, the attractiveness of including entrepreneurship in the job creation toolkit has grown. Globally, entrepreneurs and small, medium-sized enterprises are widely considered to be vital or to be important to national economies, particularly because they create a higher share of jobs than other employers. Next. So, Baseman Moment, a professor of political science from the University of Waterloo, observed that in the Middle East and North Africa region, the small, medium enterprises represented 80 to 90% of all businesses in the formal sector. So there was a huge activity in the Middle East and North Africa. People value entrepreneurship than they value jobs. All they don't value them, but at least the situation there made them to embrace more medium enterprises in that part. Maybe that's why you see a lot of business taking place in the Middle East and North Africa, especially the small and medium enterprises that help them to make more money. So, because not everybody can be employed in a formal job. Next. So these trends were reflected in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which called for promoting inclusive, sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. Right. Next slide. So, however, various sources of research in economic globalization have indicated that by motivating, training, and assisting women toward forming and running business ventures, many gender issues may be tackled. As a result, women-owned businesses are highly increasing in the economies of almost all the countries, according to Jahashan et al. Next. So that is just a picture of one of the women who is doing small, medium enterprise as part of the entrepreneurship initiative. She's coming from the Asian region, particularly the northern part of India. Right, next. Right. So you are already asking, what is entrepreneurship? What is the meaning of entrepreneurship? Because people talk about entrepreneurship, other people talk about small and medium scale businesses. What is entrepreneurship? Essentially, entrepreneurship is the process of developing, organizing, and running a new business to generate profit while also taking a risk. Because you're taking a risk because you don't know whether you will make a profit or not. You are also taking a risk by investing your money in something that is new and you don't know whether people will like it or not. That is a risk. You're also taking a risk because you don't know, maybe tomorrow the thieves, the robbers will break into your business, or there will be some kind of cyber bullying or cyber robbery in your business, and you run out of all your money will be stolen. So that's why the entrepreneurs, those people that develop the business idea, they get organized, put together all their merchandise or services, and try to operate a new business to generate profit. But they are taking a risk because they don't know whether to work or not. But because they take a risk, when things work, then they are happy and they become prosperous and rich because they took a risk. So you cannot become an entrepreneur if you're not willing to take a risk. First, you develop an idea, business idea, you organize all your materials and your money, and then you get into the operations of a new business. And your aim is to generate a profit. Because without a profit, you cannot sustain your business. You cannot continue your business. That's why you need to do a business that makes a profit. If you're doing a business that is not making a profit, your business will soon die. Or if you are taking money from your salary, always pumping into your business all the time throughout the year, well, that might not sustain your business. It will soon die. You may take money from your pocket for a short period because you are starting the business now. But once it picks up, then the business has to generate its own profit. And it is that profit that is going to be pumped back into the business to grow it. So next is another definition of entrepreneurship according to Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker says, entrepreneurship is defined as a systematic innovation which consists of the purposeful and organized search for changes. And it is the systematic analysis of the opportunities such changes might offer for economic and social innovation. So it's still talking about economic innovations and changes. And the next slide is also another definition from Ricardo, who says entrepreneurship entails bearing the risk of buying at a certain price and selling at a certain price. So if you buy something at $10, you want to sell it at $15, make a profit of $5. But you are not sure because that the other price is uncertain. So you are bearing the risk. Okay, next. That's another definition, so we can move. There are several definitions here, so you can read that at your own time. Let's move to the next slide. And now, who is an entrepreneur? Now we are looking at the person. According to the International Encyclopedia, an entrepreneur is an individual who bears the risk of operating a business in the face of uncertainty about the future conditions. So if you are an entrepreneur, you are taking the risk, you don't mind the distance, you don't mind the weather, you don't mind the other conditions, but you are an individual who bear the risk of operating a business in the face of uncertainty. So that's an entrepreneur. You don't avoid the risk. Okay, next. Yeah, so Adam Smith just echoes on the meaning of an entrepreneur. He is saying that this is an individual who forms an organization for commercial purpose. He is a proprietary capitalist, a supplier of capital, and at the same time a manager who intervenes between labor and the consumer. So he is interested in the next. Next slide. Right. So the other 2 or 3 slides are talking about the history of entrepreneurship. And basically they are saying the term entrepreneurship is a French word, and it is derived from the French word entrepreneur, means to undertake. So it is commonly used to describe an individual who organizes and operates a business, taking on financial risk to do so. Next slide, please. Yes, so same thing as the history. It started from the Middle Ages. So we will not take much time for you on the history part of it, but the point here is that entrepreneurship started way back in the Middle Ages, around the 16th centuries, and when people were trying to do business to each other. They are undertaking certain enterprises and taking a risk. So let's move on to the next slide. So there are different kinds of entrepreneurs that we want to know about. So they are listed down in the following slides. Yes, next slide. So the first one is what is called as innovative entrepreneurs. So these are entrepreneurs who have the ability to think new, better, and more economical ideas of business organization. So these are innovators. They are thinking about something new which somebody else has never thought about. So interventions like introducing a small car by Rata, these are just a few examples. Somebody who organized retailing, his name was Kishore Biani, and he's somebody who also made mobile phones available to the common man. Anil Ambani, and these are the works of innovative entrepreneurs. So if you can think of a new idea that is better, or it might not be a new idea, but it might be a better idea developing from what somebody else innovated, but you improve it, you give it more, you add value to the old idea, then you are making it better, or you are making it more economical. So that too is also an innovative entrepreneur, one type of entrepreneurs. Next, number two, second type of entrepreneurs are the entrepreneurs who are imitating entrepreneurs. These are entrepreneurs who follow the path shown by innovative entrepreneurs. So they are simply doing what others. If, for example, some entrepreneurs manufactured a minibus or a tricycle, so these are the entrepreneurs who also try to manufacture. So if you're in the transport industry, you are transporting people from point A to point B, then the imitator, there'll be other people who say, I want to look like that. I want to do what he is doing. I want to do what she is doing. So those are imitating other entrepreneurs whom they saw before. Right. So, for example, developing a small shopping complex because you saw a bigger one elsewhere, or you are developing a small car because you saw bigger cars. So you are imitating. You are trying to do what other entrepreneurs did, whom you saw elsewhere. Right. Thirdly, number three, next. Fabian Enterprise for entrepreneurs. Fabian entrepreneurs are those individuals who do not show initiative in visualizing and implementing new ideas and innovation. On the contrary, they like to wait for some development which would motivate them to initiate, unless there is an imminent threat to their very existence. So the Fabian entrepreneurs are patient. They wait. They wait to see how other businesses are doing. Are they successful or are they not successful? And what are the other factors that they see? So when they are convinced, that's when they say, no, anyway, let me try. Let me try. So they are not as aggressively driven as the innovative entrepreneurs or as the imitating entrepreneurs. But these are the ones that you would think they do business anyway because everybody is doing business. Let me try to do my own as well. So they wait for some development. Maybe they wait until they lose their job, so they say, let me start a business. Or they wait until they find some financial pressure of some kind. And they say, let me do my business. Right, next. Then we have drone entrepreneurs. Drone entrepreneurs are those individuals who are satisfied with the existing mode and speed of business activity and show no inclination to gaining market leadership. In other words, drone entrepreneurs are die-hard conservative and even ready to suffer the loss of business. Okay, next. Social entrepreneurs drive social innovations and transformation in various fields, including education, health, human rights, workers' rights, environment, rights development. Dr. Muhammad Yunus of Bangladesh started the Grameen Bank. Is one example of the social entrepreneur. So they are not producing products, but they are getting to the social services like education, health, human rights, so on. So they are focusing on the services as part of their social entrepreneurship, and through that, then they're able to provide a service. So these are called social entrepreneurs. Next. Then we have agricultural entrepreneurs who focus on agricultural activities, like producing maybe crops in the field, and then processing them and selling them. They cover a wide spectrum of agriculture activities like cultivation, marketing of agriculture products, produce, doing irrigation, and mechanization and technology. So anything involving agricultural entrepreneurship, agricultural activities, which people is doing business in those areas, these are called agricultural entrepreneur. Right. Let's move on to next. We need to, yeah. Right. So trading entrepreneurs are taking merchandise from one point and then selling them to another point. You procure finished products from manufacturers and sell these to the customers directly or through retailers. And then you're more or less like a middleman. Okay, you buy from manufacturers, sell them to retailers at a profit. Okay, these are trading entrepreneurs. Next, manufacturing entrepreneurs. These are the ones who produce, who manufacture. These are the ones who have the factories. They manufacture products. They identify the needs of the customers and then explore the resources and technologies used in manufacturing. So they produce products which can be sold. Next. This is referring to all the connections, the businesses controlled by women. Statistically, research shows that where you have 51% of your business controlled by women, then that's when you confirm about women participation in the business. Women entrepreneurship is defined as enterprises owned and controlled by a woman having a minimum financial stake of 51% of the capital and giving at least 1% employment generated in the enterprises. So this was part of the, I think, the Indian policy, where you have 51% participation of women. That's when you can say this business can be referred to as women entrepreneurs category. Right. Next. Next. Type of entrepreneurship or lifetime entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs take business as an integral part of their life, usually a family enterprise. So these are the people who are in business throughout their life. They are referred to as lifetime entrepreneurs, and they take business as part of their life, everyday life, throughout their life. All right, next slide. What are the characteristics or qualities of the entrepreneurs? How do the entrepreneurs look like? How do they behave? First of all, entrepreneurs have many of the same character traits as leaders, similar to the great man theory of leadership. So the entrepreneurs possess several qualities, which according to Napoleon, there are 90 attributes. So we don't have the time to exhaust all the 90 attributes of the characters or qualities of an entrepreneur. But some of those have just been listed below just for our learning this morning. So the next slide will show at least these are 25 here. For example, you have independent and achiever. So the entrepreneurs want to become independent. They don't want to be employed by anyone. They want to become independent. That's one characteristic. Secondly, they are optimistic. See, optimistic means that you don't entertain thoughts that are discouraging you. No, you don't entertain thoughts that are backward. You don't entertain negative thinking. Being optimistic is thinking that things are positive. This business will work. I'm going to do business and nobody will discourage me. I think positively about getting involved in entrepreneurship, risk taking. you take a risk. We have already talked about that. Persuasive and networker. So you are able to persuade your customers to say, yes, you can buy this. They grab opportunities. They are also willing to learn. They set the goals. They are independent and they are self-confident. They seek information. They age to build. They are hardworking, well-versed in management skills, and they are strong team builders. They believe in quality, efficiency. They take initiative. They are aggressive, and they have high IQ, EQ, and SQ levels. We will explain what those means in the next slide. And they are also systematic planners. They plan their work. They are persistent. What they do today, tomorrow they want to continue with that. They are dynamic and visionary. They go-getter. They are go-getter. They want to get the goal, and they never say thy spirit. So these are the characteristics of entrepreneurs. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, whether you are a woman or a man, you need to be courageous and you need to be optimistic. Be willing to take a risk. You need to work hard because it's not easy to start a business, however small it might start. But when you are determined, you will do it. Next slide, please. Yeah, so here, successful entrepreneurs must possess combination of the three attributes. These are IQ, meaning intelligence, quotient. EQ, emotional quotient. SQ, spiritual quotient. And what this means is that the intelligence quotient helps you to think, to plan, and to rationalize. Say, these are calculated risks that I'm taking, and from my thinking framework, I know I'm going to pump my income. I will invest in this activity, business activity, entrepreneurship activity, because I know all factors being good, I'm going to make a profit. So that's intelligence. Emotionally, you have to be driven by emotions. The circumstances might not be pleasing, but you still have to maintain the positive emotions. In the same manner, you need to have a drive, a spiritual drive that helps you or motivates you to achieve, to move forward. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be strong in this area. Okay, next slide. Functions of entrepreneurship. What is expected in terms of the actual ideas and activities? So the functions, first of all, there's need for innovation and creativity. Innovation generally refers to changing processes or creating more effective processes. That's an idea. So you have to create. You are being creative. You are being innovative. So you either change some things which already existed, and then you can do business on them, or you create more effective process or products or ideas. So for businesses, this could mean implementing new ideas or creating dynamic products or improving the existing services. you want to do them better. For example, when you think about the mobile phones, when they just started on the market, they basically used they were used just for talking. If I want to make a phone call, that's all. And maybe sending messages. So through SMS at first. But later on, because of innovation and creativity, people continued to do research. And now the mobile phone handset can do multiple functions. Like you can do WhatsApp, you can do Zoom conferencing like we are doing now. You can do, you can send money through the mobile phone, and you can send messages through the internet, you can send emails, and you can even do Google meetings. So there are various things that you can do with your phone now. At first, it was just talking to someone and sending SMS, that's all. And there were no touch phones with a touch screen at first. But now you have phones with a touch screen. So at a click of a button, you can do multiple functions. So this is what we're talking about. You can either produce new ideas, or you can add, create more changes and improve the existing services, products, or ideas. So that's the first function of entrepreneurship: innovation and creativity. Next slide. We have talked about creativity already. Can we move to the next slide? So the other function is to take a risk and achieve. So there are different kinds of risks. Can be a financial risk because you're pumping in money. You don't know whether you will succeed or not. You are also doing a job risk. You sacrifice. You don't want to look for a job. You are doing business now. You are making a decision that I'm going to do entrepreneurship. So you risk a job in that case. Some people have actually left their jobs and got into entrepreneurship, and taking that risk is not easy. Another issue is social and family risk. Your society and your family need your time, they need your attention, but you're taking a risk because you are temporarily running away from your family on the hours that you are going to be doing business. And then you come back in the evening. Or sometimes your business might require you to work in the evening, and when your family needs you, but you're taking a risk, you're working in the evening when your family and your society needs you. So that's another risk. And then the mental risk is that business ideas, business activities, they can bring some amount of stress. So when you are stressed up, it also affects your health in some ways if you don't manage your stress properly. So that is also can be considered as a mental or healthy risk. So these are some of the functions, the risk-taking achievement. So you are taking risk because entrepreneurship, the business venture. So that's what we are talking about in general. Entrepreneurs accept 4 different kinds of risks. Next slide, please. And so these are just explanations of the risks which I've already explained. So you can move to the next slide. Next slide. Next slide. This one I've already explained. Next slide, please. Right. So the third function is, remember the first function is creativity and innovation. The second function is taking a risk. And then the third function is organization and management. So when you are an entrepreneur, you need to get well organized in putting your things in order. Where are you located? How many people are engaged to help you? And what time are you going to run your business? Which place are you going to run your business? And what time are you going to open and close? So all these business skills, they are very important. All these management skills are very important. That's why we're saying that the new organization is a simple organizational form that includes one large operational unit with one or a few individuals in top management. So there'll be someone who is a manager and other people working under his supervision. So you have to have the skills of planning, controlling, supervising, leading, and so on and so on. So organization and management is the third function. Remember, we have looked at innovation and creativity as a function. We have looked at taking a risk as a function. We have also seen that good organization and management is also very helpful. So that's why we're saying that if you want your entrepreneurship activities to function properly, you need to remember these functions properly. Next slide. And then you need to do research. This means that you need to always to be understanding how does business look like in your area. Are people still interested in the type of business that you are doing? How can you do it better? How can you improve in your business? What are the other business trends that are taking place around your business? And so you're always engaged in this kind of research. You just want to know what is happening and whether you should continue with this type of business, or you can switch on to another type of business, or you can expand this business, or you can relocate to another new place, just to make sure that people are safe. Right. Now, next. The other function is overcoming resistance to change. This means that there are many people in your area who may not be well motivated to see you bringing new things, new businesses, new ideas. So you need to overcome that kind of thinking. It will just discourage you and destroy your business. So it is only after successful implementation of these new ideas that an entrepreneur makes these ideas available to others for their benefit. So he will, his will or her willpower enthusiasm and energy help him or her to overcome the society's resistance to change. So some people do not embrace change when new things happen. Some people do not embrace change right away. Excuse me. They wait, and sometimes they resist change for a long period of time until they see that the new things are good. That's when they will come in to support you or to join. So you need to overcome their resistance by still moving forward with your business ideas that bring change. There are many examples that we can think about. Previously, the same example of cell phone, mobile phone. No, previously people used to use the ground phone, and so a lot of creativity was done with the ground phones until people came up with the mobile phones. And even when some the civil servants, in my country, when policy was changing that they will be paid their salaries through the banks, and then they can access money through their mobile phone. Some people resisted that. There are a lot of risks that they saw. But because it was time for change, now everybody is happy that their money can be transferred to the bank or from the bank to the customer through the mobile phone, which at first they resisted. So change comes with a lot of resistance by other people in the community. But an entrepreneur overcomes resistance to change. Next slide. So another function is the catalyst of economic development. An entrepreneur plays an important role in accelerating the pace of economic development in the country by discovering new uses of available resources and maximizing their utilization. So your participation in the business entrepreneurship also helps your country to develop economically. Next slide. So we are moving towards the end of the presentation, and I don't know much about Singapore. I need to do more research so that we can talk next time. We can talk about the situation of entrepreneurship in Singapore. But briefly, let me talk about Malawi, where I am coming from. Where I am now, Malawi is one of the developing countries in the world, with 70% of the population living on less than $2 a day. And therefore, decent jobs are very scarce. Only a few privileged elites have jobs, but the majority, over 70%, don't have. Others are either farming, they are farmers, or they are engaged in some kind of entrepreneurship. So the United Nations says women in Malawi are overrepresented in most of the unstable, lowest paid, lowest skilled agriculture and non-agricultural work, coupled with demanding domestic and child caring responsibilities. Wow. So that puts the women on a disadvantage. That's why this topic is focusing on women entrepreneurship. If the women are properly supported and guided in entrepreneurship, you will empower the women and therefore give them ability to participate in the economic development that is sustainable in your country. So that's why this topic is focusing on promoting women entrepreneurship in order to achieve sustainable development. Next slide, please. So these are some of the statistics for Malawi. An estimated 62% of small businesses, they are owned in Malawi have only primary level education. So it means that the majority of the women in Malawi are not educated. 62% is quite a big statistic. And therefore, but they are engaged in business from primary school knowledge. They are still participating in business. While 9% have no formal education at all. Others don't have formal education. They have never gone to school, and because they are coming from the remotest part of the area, and they didn't have an opportunity to access education way before the country developed. Yet women are the most likely to be self-employed in Malawi than men. To escape poverty, Malawian women create and run their own businesses. Right, so here, if you haven't seen how Malawian women look like, they look like this, you see. So they are engaged in business entrepreneurship. Next slide, please. Yes, that's what we want to see. So you see in that picture, if you can see, the Malawian woman is selling tomato and the onion. There's a red onion there and white onion in the basket. And so you can see several women behind the woman in front, and she's smiling, she's happy, showing that she's through the small scale businesses, she's able to make some money for her family to take care of her children and her family. She might not be the richest person in the country, but at least these women are engaged in entrepreneurship in order to help their families and therefore sustain life in their families. In that way, women participation in entrepreneurship in Malawi society is helping the women to earn a living and support their families. And the next picture, next slide. So some women are engaged in more organized activities like tailoring. So like this woman is engaged in the tailoring business. What you see down there is the woman trying to design and cutting a cloth because she wants to produce some clothing, and then the machines there are tailoring machines. Yes, so that's just to give you a picture of women entrepreneurship in Malawi society. Next slide, please. So we have stages or processes of entrepreneurship development, which if you are planning to go into entrepreneurship, you need to understand these stages. The first stage is that you have to find a business idea. What is it that you want to do? What kind of business? Like you saw the pictures of the women. Those women, they decided to be into the agriculture entrepreneurship. That's why they are selling tomato, onion, and other agricultural produce. So they are into agricultural entrepreneurship. But the other woman in the picture was doing tailoring. So you need to, first of all, decide what is the business idea that you have. So there are many ways to come up with the business ideas, but the best way is to think about what you are passionate about and what needs are not met in the marketplace. So look around your community. what are the gaps, what are the needs of the people in your community, and what is it that you are passionate about, what you love most, you as an individual. So that's how you come up with a business idea. For example, you want to be running you are passionate about hairstyle. So you find that around your community, there are no hair salons. Or you want to come up with a barber shop because in your community, there's no barber shop, but you're so passionate about you love the different hairstyles that you see on men and women. So you can think about coming up with a hair salon or a barber shop. Or you may see that people travel long distances to go and buy vegetables at the market. So you can think about starting a vegetable business where you'll be selling vegetables, tomatoes, onions, and all the food related to vegetables. Or you can be rearing chickens at your backyard. And you have some space that you can put up a small place to keep maybe 100 chickens or 50 chickens. When they grow up, you sell them. So there are many business ideas, but you have to be guided by your passion. What is it that you love doing most? And what are the needs of your community? So that's how you come up with the business idea. Next slide. Another stage is building a team. So once you have a business idea, you need to start building a team of people who think like you. And so by interacting with them, the team will help you to turn your idea into a reality. Because not all business ideas are realistic. Some are just fantasies that you're thinking about. But when you talk to people who think like you, then they'll say, yes, this idea is fine. So this team will include people with different skill sets or expertise so that it's important to choose widely. Next slide, please. And creating a business plan. Now, the third step is where you now have to think about why am I doing this business? What are the goals, the objectives, and what am I going to do? Do you need to put up a structure, build a shelter, or do you need to hire a small room for your hair salon? And you need to travel to long distances to go and order some merchandise to bring them into your community. So this is a business plan that we are talking about. You need to decide on how you're going to carry it out, creating a business plan. Next slide. Raising capital. Do you already have the money to start this business? Or you're going to borrow the money from the bank? Or borrow the money from your friends? Or get the money from your parents or your brother or your sister? So this can be done through investment from friends, family, or venture or capitalists. Or if you're planning to do business 1 year from now, you can start saving your money so that after 1 year, then you already have capital. Next slide. Launching your business. Once you have a team in place and a business plan, now it's time to launch your business. This is when all your hard work will finally pay off. So you roll out your business. You start it, you open it, you can announce for an official occasion or you can silently put a poster that we are now open and then indicate the business hours. Next slide, please. Yes, growing your business after you have launched have started, you have rolled your business. It is important to continue growing it. This can be done by expanding your product line, entering new markets, and acquiring other businesses. Next. And then if you want to change the business, thank you, Abdul. So if you want to exit your business after doing it for some time, you may want to sell your business or take it to public. This is the final step of the entrepreneurship development, and it can be very fluctuative one if done correctly. So this is exiting smoothly. You don't just disappear from the scenes from nowhere. You need to, actually your community has to know that you will be exiting your business, because you want to maintain a good relationship with your community. So you don't abruptly close your business. You need to let your community know and give notice in good time. And then you either sell your business to someone, or you transfer it elsewhere, or you venture to another business. Next slide, please. Right, so what are the secrets of successful entrepreneurship? Number one, intense goal orientation. This is the characteristic of every successful entrepreneur. You have to focus on your vision, on your mission. Don't be disturbed by other comments or negative thinking that try to describe or to steal your attention. Your ability to set goals and make plans for your accomplishment is the skill required to succeed. So you need to plan your business. Number two, you need to plan your business. Number three, you need to plan your business, because without planning, you will fail. Next slide, please. Another secret is believing in yourself that you can do wonders, you can do great things. You see, the people that have become great in this world are just like you. You don't need, think about the famous names that we hear about people in America. And well, we will talk about the obstacles later. But think about the people who have succeeded in business, who are millionaires now. They started like you. They were as simple and small and humble people as you. So you need to believe in yourself and your ability to succeed, no matter what. And the second thing is, another secret is that nothing is good or bad. Things are only how you perceive them. So be willing to try on different kinds of businesses, and be willing to work with other people who can support you. So have a good perception without advancing negative perception. And then perseverance. People like to say that entrepreneurship and success are a marathon, not a sprint. So why perseverance? Because you gain, you win, and sometimes you lose, but you don't give up. You persevere, still move forward. Although you face challenges, one of the comments flashed on my screen is, what are some of the challenges or obstacles facing women entrepreneurs? Yes, there are many. For example, society looks down on women. So the attitude of society is already negative in some cases. But don't undermine yourself. You are God's creation. In fact, in the scripture, in the Bible, God says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, and plans not to harm you. So this is written in the book of Jeremiah 29, verse 11 on 13. So persevere. So one of the obstacles facing women entrepreneurs is the society's attitude towards women. And then secondly, the confidence from their spouses. If they are married women, how free are the husbands to allow them to go out for business? So if that business involves traveling to long distances, you'll find that most husbands do not easily accept their wives to go and do business. They would rather allow their women and wives to stay at home and take care of the kids. And so the women are not given all the opportunities. So these are just some of them. And then the other problem, the other obstacle is that in some cases, the women don't believe much in themselves. They because society already looks down on them. Then they too, the individual women, they say, as a woman, this is the only thing I can do. I cannot do more than what I'm doing already. So that's another obstacle. And because because of the other responsibilities that women have, like bearing children, the time that they are pregnant, that also comes with some pregnant pains. So their availability on the market to do entrepreneurship activities is also on and off, because they have to go to the hospital for checkup. And at some point, they need to nurse the babies and things like that. So these add up together as some of the obstacles and challenges. And therefore, the banks and the money lenders are also skeptical, and most women who are humble and poor do not have collateral to give to the money lenders and things like that. So those are just some of the few obstacles. Right, let's proceed. We want to finish now. Next slide. So what are the rewards of entrepreneurship? When you do entrepreneurship in a good way, there are some personal rewards, financial rewards, and ownership rewards. And next slide, please. When you are a business owner, you are in control, you decide who to work with. So you choose the people whom you want to work with, which customers you want, or whether you want to take an opportunity without asking anyone's permission. So you are a decision maker. That's a personal reward. You are like a king. You make your own decisions, and there's freedom to do what you love to do. That's the personal reward and freedom. You have a privilege to make decisions depending on what you love to do. This is opposed to being employed by someone else, because your boss who will be dictating your life at your workplace. Right. Next, reward or financial opportunity. Obviously, you make a profit, so you accumulate a lot of money. That's why some people have become well off, and some even billionaires or millionaires, because there's a financial reward when you are making good business. Thirdly, next, there's ownership. So with care and attention, your business grows over time. So you own a business which is growing. And over time, a business becomes something you can sell. It has a lot of value, or you pass it on to your children to inherit it, because eventually you will grow old and go back to heaven, and then leave all your wealth to your children. In addition to all the other wonderful things ownership can give you, there's also a great deal of satisfaction knowing that your business is something your employees can rely upon. So you employ people, you give them jobs, but if you're old enough, you also realize that in this world, in this life, people do not live forever. That's why they believe in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And if they do well on this earth, after they die, they go to heaven and live with God forever and ever. So you leave a legacy to your children and to other people who benefited from employment. Next. Right, so the question is, what is your reflection on being an entrepreneur? Do you want to become an entrepreneur yourself? It is possible. So it should be about making life better, not only for ourselves, but even for other people as well. So entrepreneurs are leaders. This means they should be able to impact positively with their employees. Next. So as we finish, let's look at this quote here by the quote number. Next one. Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, sure. Yeah, for our participant, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat or you can raise your hand. Okay, for first question, we have question from Mr. Abdul. Okay, good morning, doctor. I am interested in the topic of promoting women entrepreneurship for sustainable development. What makes women entrepreneurship important in the context of sustainable development? Thank you.
Woman entrepreneur is important because women make our home. Women make our families. So we are coming from the previous generations who did not believe very much that women can participate in economic development for the benefit of their families and their countries. But this time, our thinking has changed. We want to give more opportunities in business, and therefore, when women participate more in business, we are increasing the opportunity for them to participate in economic development. Their chances will increase, their monies will increase, and therefore they will come up with healthy families, and healthy families will mean healthy nations, and therefore women will contribute much in sustainable development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the next question, in the context of promoting women entrepreneurship, what are the main obstacle or challenge that women often face in starting and developing their business? The question from Miss Kinan. Thank you.
I already attempted to address that question when I said the obstacles and challenges. First of all, some women don't believe in themselves, so they lack confidence. They need to be encouraged that they are strong. They have the potential to do business, so they should not doubt themselves. But secondly, society looks down on women. So they think a woman cannot do great things. In some countries, so they shy away, and the society looks down on women, and therefore do not allow them to participate. But thirdly, because most women are not employed, they lack the capital money to start their own businesses. And unless the government has a special loan facility where the women can go and borrow money, otherwise it becomes a bit of a challenge for women to participate in small enterprise. Thank you. These are some of the few obstacles and challenges for women to start up a business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of three. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for Dr. Yobbe Lungu for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future with them EST John the Baptist University Malawi. The visiting lecture for today and here we have to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye to you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.